So it's been over a month since I did my last video, and I think there have been a few major things that have happened between then and now. There might have even been some kind of, what was it called? The consumer show, the Consumer Electronics Show. Oh, yeah, CES. Hey everybody, I'm Joe DeGanzik, and this is Smarter Home Life. This is the umpteenth time I've actually created this video and re-scripted it and shot it and such. So my apologies for those of you who've been waiting for something, because it's been a long time, obviously, since I've done a video. February is the month of getting back to somewhat regular content. I just want to get to the list of products that I think are noteworthy. I'm not even going to say that these are like the best of CES, because that's really subjective. And so the quick story is, yeah, CES was amazing, it's awesome, it's huge, it's massive, but the fact was, since I do now work full transparency, full disclosure here, as I have in numerous videos, I do now work for a smart home company full time. I was at the booth, so I was actually an exhibitor this time, not just an attendee or covering CES. And because of the fact that, well, I was the one talking to the media, I really couldn't escape the booth for too terribly long. Other than some of the buzz, I just couldn't go out and see this stuff and take my own photos and video of all these individual devices. So, Google Assistant, Google was everywhere, just FYI, I will show you more stuff at the end of it. Obviously, just in general, the voice assistants continue to be the big sexy trend of the smart home, and just, all these, even if it's like a connected hairbrush, you know what I mean? It's going to have something embedded where it'll tell you when you need to replace it. So anyways, I lumped this into AI devices. Google Assistant displays, right? So this is the Amazon Echo Show kind of competitor, coming from Sony, LG, and then specifically Lenovo, which had a couple of these, and with kind of interesting, like kind of tapered and triangular back planes or back pieces, 8 and 10 inch. They're calling it the Lenovo Smart Display. This has Google Assistant built in, so it's a display. It's Google Assistant, the mics, the speaker, as such, and you can actually orient it horizontally and vertically. It'll be out this summer for $200 or $250, depending on if you get the 8-inch display or the 10-inch display. And it boots right into Android Things, a new kind of operating system, kind of a new tangent for Android. And you're going to get all of your, your smart home stuff, obviously, and then news and calendar and routines and sports scores and all the different things that you would expect. But this one is Google Assistant and not Lady A. So we'll see those this summer. I think the other ones are also going to be hitting over the summer or during the year. One of the other companies, oh, all right, this is not an ad. Of course, here's the picture of the booth and me giving an interview with my good friend, BFF Allison Sheridan, who I get to hang out a lot with this time, which was great, from podfeed.com. So we debuted, my company, Linky, debuted our Home Intelligence Hub. This is Google Assistant running on the SDK version that goes and can run on third-party hardware, not running an Android OS. This is a dedicated device for the smart home. Continuing in the smart sort of speaker category, now we'll go over to Lady A. iDevices, which everyone loves iDevices, except usually for the price, especially their in-wall devices, which are pretty pricey at $100 each. These are smart devices, from switches to plug-in, plug-in outlets to full outlet replacements to in-wall dimmers that work with the various voice assistants and HomeKit and Siri. But it's kind of a closed system, because if you're not doing voice control, they don't work with other smart home hubs. So what did they debut? They debuted a couple things. I'll tell you about the other one coming up in a minute. This one is the Instinct Smart Switch, which I believe is just a switch, not dimming. I couldn't find it in any of the information. I don't know why you would debut a device that's going to cost a lot of money and not put dimming circuitry in it. But anyways, it has Lady A on board, so you can talk to it and you can control your Amazon ecosystem, basically. It can be another Echo. It has SOEN audio, S-O-E-N, so they say it's going to be a really fantastic audio experience. I don't know that you can get a fantastic audio experience from a light switch sized device, but we shall see. So here's the weird thing. Yes, it has Lady A on board, so you can say what's her name, get my calendar and turn the lights off and all those things. But it is controlled as the other iDevices products are. It can be controlled by the Amazon ecosystem. We'll just call it that. Hey G for Google Assistant, and from Siri with HomeKit. So it can be controlled by those things, but on board to actually talk to it, it's Lady A, and it has ambient light sensors, motion sensors, and it's a switch, maybe not dimmable with that circuitry on board. No price yet, no availability date yet, probably later this year. It makes sense to place these things in locations that it makes sense, instead of necessarily having to just get additional speakers and place them in, near outlets or on tabletops or whatever. So this is the one product I think this is probably the best, or this makes the most sense. The first alert, one link, safe and sound, smart speaker, and smoke/carbon monoxide alarm. So it is what you think it is. So this thing has the mics, it has the speaker. This also says it's going to be room-filling, amazing sound. This is due out in March for $250. Kind of pricey, but if you put all that technology in with a good smoke alarm, which that's something that you really do not want to cheap out on, I think that's a reasonable price. Apparently, it's also going to be an AirPlay 2 speaker, also HomeKit. So this can be, this is a device that will give you alerts to your HomeKit ecosystem. So now this is where we get confusing, where we've got, okay, these devices now actually have the AI assistant on board that you can talk to, but yet they can actually act as a transmitter of data to other third-party, or other home automation systems. So are you confused yet? Maybe 2018 is going to be the year of confusion. Moving on, smart lighting. I'm going to really go over this really quickly. Singlet, famous for creating light bulb speakers. They have a new line. They've been kind of expanding their Element line of Zigbee devices that are lower cost and basically connect to their hub, or connect also to SmartThings and the Echo Plus, probably also to Wink. I'm guessing if these are Zigbee devices. The news officially is Singlet Element Color Plus for $35 each. That does beat Philips Hue for just your traditional, screw-in A style bulbs. But right now you can only get them as a starter pack. I'm guessing they're just kind of filling this out and getting them out to the various resellers. So a 3-pack of the bulbs plus their hub, another hub, right? Technically you don't need their hub because it's going to work with the Echo Plus and SmartThings. We don't know what the colors look like and the saturation and the brightness. It's supposed to be, again, just another competitor at a 60-watt equivalent or 800 lumens. So that's all I'm going to say about that until I have some more information or actually have it in my hand. So that's interesting. Again, we're seeing more competition. This is a good thing, assuming that the competition is going to be pretty good in terms of that it's going to be a flat comparison and you can actually get your bang for the buck through another brand. So that's it from Singlet. Nanoleaf Aurora is now going to just be called the light panels. These are those triangular panels that interlock. You can put 30 of them together on one of their controllers, and they're beautiful, they're animated. The new product from Nanoleaf are square panels, not triangular. They're going to keep with the triangular ones. The square ones can apparently do more animation. They're just as beautiful. They're going to be even more amazing, and they can actually have 1,000 panels be controlled by a single controller, but they'll need some little power boosters. No availability date yet, except for later or sometime this year. No price yet, and these are pretty pricey. The triangular ones come in a starter pack of I believe 9 for about $200 or more, so pretty pricey. And these do work with Lady A and all your voice assistants. But again, some of these products, like the Nanoleaf Aurora, this doesn't link up with other smart home hubs necessarily. These are just being controlled by voice, and they kind of have their own proprietary systems. So what they also brought out, this is again going to be compatible with their colored panels, the old triangular ones that were called Aurora, and the new square ones, a 10-sided or decahedron remote that kind of looks like something that I would love to just take it and kind of roll it across the floor or the carpet and see where it lands. Depending on basically what side that you put it down onto a surface, surface on, it will then, you can program it for different scenes or to activate different lights for these panels and have it do all kinds of colors and so forth. It also acts as a HomeKit remote control. It is $50, due out, I believe, in March, if I'm correct, or spring. We'll just say spring. And $50, not too bad for this, but again, it's HomeKit only, most likely a Bluetooth product, so it's going to be limited to Apple's ecosystem. One more thing from iDevices, a ceiling fan controller, which is something that a lot of you ask for. You don't want to replace your entire fan, you don't want to jury rig it, you just want something that's built in. So if you want to control it by voice only, or if you're in the HomeKit world, in the Apple world, this is a ceiling fan controller, no price yet, coming out later this year. It'll have obviously 3 speeds, low, medium, and high, and off. It'll be an in-wall device paired with something that you have to install in the canopy above the fan. And it will give you energy monitoring, lighting control. I'm hoping it has dimming control for, if you have lights on your ceiling fan. And that's it. Those are literally all the details. It's probably going to be $100 or more. Orbit, I put one of these in with Jake on the home that we worked on, the smart home in Fairview in the summer of last year that I did a couple of videos. We put in the Orbit Beehive sprinkler controller. Now they have a faucet controller, so it's something that you screw onto like an outside hose that you might just, if you've got something that you just have a hose. Maybe you've got one of those soaker hoses, or you've got a manual sprinkler that you just set out onto the lawn. Now you can control that. It's a Bluetooth device. Looks to be $55, even though they said it was $40, but it was $55 when I found it on Amazon just the other day. $70 paired with their proprietary hub, you guessed it. Or you can get the less expensive, which apparently is going to be $60. They have a new sprinkler timer that is just for indoors, so it won't be like an outdoor, it won't have the nice like outdoor weatherproof case, even though they're still selling those. They have a new indoor-only sprinkler controller for $60 that will also function as a hub for the hose controller. I just hate even talking about these products that wind up being proprietary with all of their own Bluetooth to Wi-Fi hubs. It just kills me. It does work with Lady A. It will work with Google Assistant later 2018. I gave you the prices. I gave you the info. They appear to be on Amazon, so this stuff appears to be ready to buy right now or imminently within the next month or so, whether you get it online or at your local Home Depot or Lowe's or favorite hardware store. From HeatWorks, who also makes app-enabled smart, what are those things called? The tankless water heater units, which I really love that idea. Anyway, so from HeatWorks, the Tetra Countertop Dishwasher, $300, 10-minute cycle, uses a half a gallon of water per cycle, and apparently you can fit basically a two place settings, or maybe one pot or one pan into this. It's clear so you can see it working. Half a gallon, that's a tiny amount of water. I guess you fill it up manually. It's not going to be connected to a water supply. It sits on the counter. God, that's freaking awesome, because I don't have a dishwasher, and there are days that I'm just like, I do not feel like dealing with it all. $300, that's a deal. So, and you're going to have an app for that, so you can actually remotely start and stop the cycles and monitor it. Security, couple quick things on security. Liftmaster, who's also part of Chamberlain, basically the same company, they've had their MyQ garage door openers. I did the little episode about the HomeKit adapter for that with Mike a couple months ago on the channel. So this is a side mount, a new way to mount your garage door if you don't have space above the garage door where the track would normally be, or you just want to take advantage of that space, kind of clear all that up. $600 to $700. You can only buy these from dealers. It appears to be available either soon or now, so check with your local dealer if you want one of these things. MyQ on board. The only downside is they charge for access to things like integration with Nest, Google Assistant, and IFTTT. It also comes with an automatic deadbolt that will deadbolt the garage door into the track when it's closed. Kind of cool. Last thing, also in the garage, from a company that I've reviewed one of their products before, from Roost. They make those smart 9-volt batteries that you can stick in your dumb smoke alarms, and they will actually listen for the sound of the alarm and give you alerts remotely if you're not home, and then you can take action on it. So they have a new device. It looks exactly like their smart 9-volt battery. It's a little battery looking device. You stick it on your garage door, the physical door itself, and then you calibrate it to say, all right, is the door open or closed? And then it senses the movement, and it will give you alerts and give you the status of the door to say, okay, is it open or is it closed? And this can be helpful to know, did I close the door? Did I open it? Are the kids coming home? You know, all those kind of scenarios to give you alerts. That is $40. It'll be out late spring. They do have a new and improved version of their existing smart 9-volt battery for smoke alarms. That's $35, which that lasts 3 to 5 years. The battery life on the door opener, I believe, lasts 2 years, the door opener sensor. Let's see, last thing, couple things, Wi-Fi. We know that in larger homes, it's really important to have really good Wi-Fi. We've all got all of our devices, our tablets, phones, and all the smart things that are connected to Wi-Fi. Even your, like I said, your hairbrush is probably connected to Wi-Fi. So anyways, Netgear's Orbi, they've actually, this is a very well-reviewed and very well-liked mesh Wi-Fi system. It means you have multiple Wi-Fi points in the home, and it just creates a really good Wi-Fi network throughout your entire home. This is good for homes that are 1,500 square feet and larger, but some people say, well, I want it outdoors, right? I want to be out by the pool. I want to do barbecuing and parties, and people want to be on their Wi-Fi. So now they have, as an add-on product for their existing Wi-Fi systems, a outdoor satellite system, not a satellite like TV, but it's a satellite device. $330, kind of pricey, but it'll provide an additional 2,500 square feet of coverage. It's outdoor rated, so it's a fully weatherproof device, and it communicates back via a specific 5 gigahertz backhaul frequency to the existing system. Orbi's mesh Wi-Fi systems start at about $200. You'll need one of the systems to get started before you add on this satellite for the outdoor. So I think that's kind of cool. And for the thing you probably don't need, the thing that probably doesn't need to be connected, or maybe that you could buy at once and transfer it, the 3M Smart Filtrete air filter. You know the air filters from 3M, you usually don't have to change them very often because they're like 3 or 4 months because they're just really good air filters. So, well, now they're going to be 20 or $30, and I mean, they'll keep making the dumb ones, but now they're going to have one that comes with a air pressure sensor, so it'll understand if the pressure changes and it's not pushing as much air through that filter, it means the filter probably has to be changed, and it'll give you an alert, and you can check the status to say, all right, is it really time to change the filter? The problem is now you're going to throw your filter away along with this Bluetooth sensor, and you're going to buy another one. My idea, take the sensor, rip it off, put it on the new filter, and save yourself some money and save the environment. Or better yet, just buy a washable filter and maybe stick the sensor on it and keep the sensor, and don't buy the filters that have to go, you know, in your garbage. So CES in general, of course, was awesome. It's huge, it's massive, takes over the entire town. 200,000 people go to CES, whether they're vendors, you know, exhibitors, media, press, attendees. I want to also give a thanks, shout out to Zmodo. I was on their panel, their smart home discussion panel last year, or I think I was half asleep because I had driven in. It was a very, very quick kind of, it just wasn't as great last year. This year, it was a better panel. It was a better setup. Got to pull some names out of the hat for some prize winners at their booth, and really have a good discussion about smart home stuff and AI and where things are headed. It was really cool. So thanks to them for having me back on the panel. I feel like it went really well this year. SmartThings, a lot of people have been wondering, what is SmartThings going to do now that they've been owned by Samsung by a couple of years? I wish they would throw the app out the window and redo it. Please, guys, can you really work on that? Anyways, Samsung's booth, like 30 to 40,000 square feet, just enormous, completely enormous. They call it Samsung City. You can see a couple of photos here. The SmartThings section, their announcement was that they're moving everything, all the smart things, so to speak, that are connected within the Samsung universe are going to be moved. All of that their separate apps are going to be combined into the SmartThings app. We all know that Samsung doesn't tend to do great software, so we'll see how that works. Nothing specifically about something new itself from SmartThings, except the fact that they're trying to put Bixby everywhere. They want, it's Bixby intelligence. It's going to be in SmartThings. It's going to be in all the Samsung things. It's going to take them a while to get this done. Google was everywhere. You know, people talked about, of course, Lady A being embedded in all these devices, but really from the billboards to the monorail trains, it was a Google city. It was a Google Las Vegas strip. It was everywhere. Even some of the video billboards were all Google all the time. They didn't even show anything else. So congrats to Google for kind of putting forth and saying, we are planting our flag and we're here to stay. HomePod, I took a trip to the Apple Store this weekend. I kind of happy I delayed this a little bit. HomePod, yeah, it's apparently a good sounding speaker, and it doesn't do a whole lot. And it's $350. You can't remove the cord unless you yank on it. It weighs 20 pounds, and it's $350. Does anyone want one? If you want me to review it, send me $350. Just shoot me an email, joe@smarterhomelife.com. I'll send you my PayPal and I'll review the thing. Okay, I promise I'll do that. But otherwise, I just don't have any interest in it. It's a nice looking device though. There we go. Anything else? 2018, just like I said in the previous video, we're going to see all these things get better connected. You're going to see AI come into the smart home a little bit more. You're going to take baby steps, right? Because now with both the Amazon Echo ecosystem with their routines that they introduced in the Lady A app a few months ago, with Google following suit. Routines basically meaning, you know, you can actually create like scenes and predefined, you know, bring all of your different devices together without needing a separate hub. So now these voice assistants are going to be your hub. How well that works out, we don't know. It's probably going to take the better course of a year to see how all of that develops. But for everyone who wants to live in the voice world, you will probably be able to do quite a few things within your voice assistant of your choice. So AI is going to come into that to start to help you. It'll probably mean that you're going to have to really be cognizant of the next time that it asks you to agree to something, to say, hey, will you let us take a look at all of your daily activities and start suggesting things to you? So that's where AI can help to look at what you're doing, what your setup is, what your daily routine appears to be, and to start making mild, kind suggestions that are not creepy to help you set things up the way you want them to be, and to help you automate things instead of you constantly thinking, oh, turn off the lights and then do this and then set the air conditioner back and then close the door. It's got to get a little bit simpler for this industry to really gel. And we're just going to see, you know, again, we're seeing the industry throw everything at the wall. We've seen so many products now, not just, again, smoke detectors, light switches, and so forth, that are going to have these mics and speakers on board. How many of these things do we really want in our homes? How useful is the technology? Will it catch up fast enough? It's fun to see all the Super Bowl commercials and Lady A lost her voice and all this, but really, is it truly useful? Is it truly helpful? Will people buy them? Will they really install them? And where does it become mainstream? Products like the Amazon Echo Dot, the Google Home Mini, they're priced right. You plug it in, you stick it somewhere, and it responds. Boom. I think that's where the majority of the devices are. Otherwise, I'm still taking your questions, simple stuff through email, questions@smarterhomelife.com. Make your home just a little bit smarter every single day. It just takes one little change or one little thing, or just, you know, buy something from Best Buy and make your home smarter that way. So I'm Joe DeGanzik. Thanks for watching. See you next time.